Hello, one and all. So we're here at Big Boys Cafe, ready to receive Big Jemba James Chamanga himself. All-star ballers back with a bang. I'm your host, Adil Mtini. Welcome to another edition of All-Star Ballers. We're here at Big Boys Cafe, and we're joined by none other than the big Jemba himself, Mr. James Chamanga. How are you doing today?
No, thanks for having me, and it's a pleasure. I'm excited to be here.
No, pleasure is all ours. So I'll get straight into it. So obviously you've had a very long and storied career, but what for you would you say would be your career defining moment, the moment that got you on the trajectory that you're on, you know?
I think, to be specific, I think one of them is the time when I scored the first goal in the Nations Cup. It is in 2006 against Tunisia. My first outing at the Nations Cup, so it got me off the mark, and my name, I think, got on the market. People started to know about who's James Chamanga, where is he from. I think that was the time.
That particular moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so would you say it's your favorite moment?
For me, it is, because it was like the breakthrough. I don't know, when somebody's born, you know, it's a break from nothing to something, you know. I just broke into the limelight of the game. It is my best moment for sure.
Okay. And then looking back at your career, where you're seated today, what would you say is the icing on the cake for you? That was your biggest moment.
Of course, the biggest moment came in 2012, lifting the
African
the biggest I think I can never think of. It was the biggest moment, of course. But the one also that stands out is when I scored the 5 goals in one game.
Oh,
I think that is the only time I can still refer to someone in South Africa recently scored, but it's recently, after some years. But this stands out like one of the best moments for me in my life. Scoring 5 goals, the quickest hat trick in my career, and also 5 goals in one game. It was just amazing, you know. So that stands out. The Africa Cup is of course big.
Yeah, that's
as in the biggest tournament, but this is the different. Yeah, looking at what we did in that game and what happened in that game, it stands out as one of the things which I look back to that gives satisfaction in my career.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So as a striker, you score so many goals. Off the top of your head, do you have a favorite one, and why?
I think most of my goals, I think, were the killers, you know. From the head, I've got some, but my favorite is from the killers. Then the one which came out in 2012 is one that stands out again against Sudan. This one still stands out for me as one of my best goals. From my head, I don't have any special one that I can refer to back, and not really.
What would you think is what in your opinion is the most difficult to pull off, the most difficult technique or type of goal?
I think, you know, being a striker, they expect you to score goals, and the team depends on you to get them the results, you know, as a striker, you know. The most difficult technique is when you're in the box and you need to you've got a split second for you to think between a defender and the goalkeeper. So it becomes difficult because the inside foot is the easiest technique to use, the inside of the foot. Most of the players, they rather blast the ball and looks very good to the fans, but the ball doesn't go in. Oh, yes. So this is what is the most difficult part when you're in the box, because you've got very split seconds to think between the goal and the defender is marking you and you need to get the goal. So this for me is what has been been most difficult for me to. This has been the difficult puzzle for me that I sorted out for me start scoring goals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of difficulty, I mean, you've played in South Africa, you've played in China, you've been top scorer in South Africa, right here as well. Scored lots of goals in China. Which of the three leagues would you say is the most difficult for a striker?
I think for me, the South African league was a bit tricky for me. It's in between a developed league and is just almost getting to a developed league. Zambia at that moment when I was living in Zambia, it was still considered a lower league as well as the Chinese league. It was just starting, like it was becoming a bigger league. South African league was for me a bit tricky. It was a bit difficult for me there.
I see. Okay. And then obviously for any footballer, it seems the Champions League is the holy grail. You know, it doesn't matter what part of the world you are in, whether it's Europe, Asia, Africa, main focus on club football is always the Champions League. When you look back at your own career, would you say you have any regrets? I think it's the one title you have not won.
For me, for sure, I don't really regret because every player's dream is to play in the Champions League, in the big league. But for me, I don't have regret not playing in the Champions League. I don't wish the young ones not to be like me because maybe the time and chance at that time it was difficult to get to the big leagues. But now there's many opportunities, many agents, and so I don't have regret. I just want to encourage the young ones to say they mustn't be looking at it the way I was looking at it. That time I was looking at only financial gain, not really getting to the big leagues. I was looking at where can I get comfortable to get my family and myself moving in terms of, I'm sure, financially, you know. But this time we've got an opportunity where somebody can become a Cristiano Ronaldo out of Africa and become a Sergio Mane, Didier Drogba, you know. You can get to the big leagues, you understand? They've got many opportunities now. So I don't have regrets, but I turned my own Champions League when I was playing at Africa Cup. I was feeling the same way. The way those guys feel, I'm sure at that stage, I felt the same. So I don't have regrets. It's still all good for me. I got a big...
There's still a chance with Red Arrows, isn't it?
Maybe with my children, not me. Me, I don't think I've got a chance, maybe as a coach. I remember Karushawala won the Africa Cup through being president and coach. Oh, yeah. Maybe Karushawala, maybe even Chamanga, maybe may win it. I don't care. Me, what I want is one day I can still get to the big leagues. Even the Champions League as a coach, never know. Or as an agent, never know I can get a big player to the Champions League. I've still gotten there, so I have no regrets.
I see. So it's safe to say that's the direction in which you're looking at post your playing career, isn't it? Coaching.
Yeah.
You working on something already? Cuff something here and there.
People have been telling me, what are you doing your badges and everything? I say, okay, listen, football, people work for money. Coaching, they need again money. It should be also a break. I need the rest.
Sure.
You know, I can't be doing everything to be afraid of the future, to say I must be doing coaching and playing. Me, I like to do one thing at a time. I'm playing now, let me finish. When I finish playing, I start focusing on those badges. If I'm starting at the lowest badges, I don't care. As long as I start something, it should still get me to the big guys. I know when my time comes. But post my playing football, like you have said, I've left my book open. I don't want to be thinking about coaching only. I can be an agent, I can be a manager, I can be technical director, I can be anything. So I've just left my page open. Whatever God allows me and wherever is going to make me feel comfortable and confident to contribute to the game is where I'm going to be.
Okay, very interesting. Okay, so you were speaking earlier on about what you'd say to the young people out there. You said shouldn't make it about the money. Now, what else might you add to that? Because like I said, you've had such a long career. playing into your 40s, I'm sure there's a lot of things that you have to take into consideration: diet, training regime. What is it all like? What should the young people out there, what are the things that they should make sure they're doing consistently, and what should they do without?
I think the main point, which you're driving at is, always people have been asking me is, how do you describe discipline? So discipline, yes, yeah. Like how can a young man come to you, and what can you explain to him about what is discipline? Our investment is our body. So what you put in as your intake will define how long you can last in the game. Because what makes somebody to last longer is how fit somebody is. So what is that makes you fit? It's the body. So what I put in, meaning what I eat at the age of 28 and at the age of 35 is different. So is the muscle. The muscle grows because you can't be at 28 and be with the same muscle at 33. So whatever I'm going to be putting in the body will determine how long I can last in the game. So now, breaking it down, fat foods. Many of these young players, they like to eat a lot of junk foods, means takeaways and everything. This won't give you good muscle for the game. It will be getting injured often. And also the intake of the same, just this water. The player will drink a small bottle like this for the whole week, and is going to a very big game on the weekend. Minimum a sportsman is supposed to take, no matter the age, minimum is 3 liters of water to 4 liters of water before one training session.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So if you have a double session,
you have to take about 6 to 8 liters of water.
Oh, wow.
So you start from the morning. And people will be saying, I'll be full before training.
Oh, yes.
But if you start in the morning, you take 1 liter in the morning. After the training session, you take another 1 liter. Lunchtime, you take another 1 liter. Every go 3 liters. Before the evening, before 6 o'clock, you take another 3 liters. I'm telling you, digestion, your hydration will be good. Throughout the season, throughout the week, this is going to be helping even with your breathing, your digestion system. It will be good. This has really helped me in my career. So these are some of the things they have to be looking at. Not the only thing. Off season, how you look after yourself. A lot of rests. Eat enough. Don't eat like you have finished your career, It's different how a coach eats and the player eats, Yeah. So it's important for you to master your diet. What makes you how do you eat when you're playing a good game? It's important for you to know. If I don't take one juice, there's one juice which I like, which makes me to play good, I maintain that juice. Don't change. This week you drink this juice, this juice. It's the same thing. Even just simple things, they fall under discipline. So these are some of the things which they have to be looking at. But these things, some of it, I've been talking to these young men. I'm available. I'm a Zambian. They are Zambians. When they are available, they come and meet me. We discuss one-on-one, or I take them through some of these things that I've done. But they can also replicate and also even do better than me.
Okay. And I'm sure the activities you get into also play a role, because I've seen instances where players will be encouraged not to go and play football out there recreationally because they could get an injury. Yeah, we've heard of situations where, was it Neuer who got injured snowboarding or something like that? So it must be pretty limited for you as a football player.
I don't think so. If you look at, you need to regenerate from the game. So you see players in Europe, they go to do boxing, American football and everything. But sometimes they get injured, not because they want. Sometimes it's just an accident, sometimes it just happens. But you need to come out from the game, sometimes for you to recuperate, to find your good form. So the problem is our Zambian players, they're always doing football. Out of football. So that means they go to play football and again football. So there's nothing that they're doing to regenerate their good form. All they want to do is to maintain doing something which they've been doing already. You already know what you're doing. To improve it, what you need to do sometimes is to stay away from it. Do something else that challenges you to improve maybe your muscle, your capacity, maybe your lung capacity, because in boxing or American football, they run a lot, or basketball, they run a lot. So it will increase your capacity of your breathing. So that's why the players go away from the games. Not because they keep you away. The Zambian players are limited because they only do football. This is why the coaches don't want them to play. So they must do something else apart from just playing football.
So find some hobbies. You
Yes,
can't
other
professionally be playing football, then you go play football for fun as well.
Yes, so do something else. You can even do that.
Yeah.
Increase your concentration. You can play pool. It can improve your concentration, your accuracy, and all these kind of things. So other games can improve your ability. This is why you see most of our brothers out there, because they've got these facilities around them and they're able to improve their game because they're looking at other things like that.
Oh, yes. It's a good thing you mentioned that, because I feel like here in Zambia, we don't have enough recreational facilities. And I feel like that affects us on a, grassroots point of view. Would you agree?
Yeah, it does. But you can still have your own creative mind. Out there, cycling is available in Zambia. Footballers don't like to do cycling. Swimming, they don't like doing swimming. No, it's for whites.
And swimming is quite...
It's good for your muscle. It grows your muscle. You see all the football players out there, they are swimming. I knew how to swim out there. When I was in Zambia, we used to think it's for whites or it's for... I'm telling you, swimming is good for a sportsman. But most of our soccer players don't want to go for swimming. Even that's learning, when you're in the swimming pool for 30 minutes, I'm telling you, it's more than somebody who's doing 2 hours training on the field.
Oh, yes.
In the swimming pool, I'm telling you. So we've got cycling, swimming, we've got, what do you call this? This...
paintball.
Paintball. All those games, those can improve your IQ. You understand all these things, your accuracy and everything, your movement, all those things. Those games, they can improve. So now people, they think it's for kids and everything. They rather have PlayStation all the time. It's all about football. You can't improve your football only playing football. Yeah. So you have to diversify your mind.
True.
You have to diversify your mind. You find me doing a very strange game at home and people will be like, why are you doing this game? They don't know I'm playing it for my IQ, you understand? Yeah. Because in the box, you need 5 seconds thinking, split seconds, you understand? Sometimes you get also manual works. Okay, now we get to labor, where somebody is doing a construction of a building and everything. You see a UFC player comes to Africa and is helping with the construction. What do you think they are doing that? It's for character. He will offload a truck of sand by himself. They're not doing it because they want to get paid. They're doing it for character. Can you do it? Can you cycle a bicycle from here to Chongwe for 3 hours, 4 hours? Can you do it? You're not doing it for muscle, you're doing it for character. You can't build character, you have to train yourself.
Mental strength as well.
Yes, so some of these different games can train you in that aspect. You can't train it from the field.
I see. So are those some of your go-tos?
I do those things.
Oh, okay.
I do cycling, I do swimming, I do pool. The pool, they've got these guys that are playing for money and everything. Yeah. Sometimes I will go there and I just challenge one of them to say, I want this one, the big one, the one that's beaten all of you, I want to play this one. He said, who are you? I said, no, I can beat you. And the guy will be shaking, but he's the champion, you understand? I'm just working on his mind. That's what they do out there. Football is all about the mind, you understand? So you work on somebody's mind, you win the game.
Okay, interesting. Very interesting take. Okay, and then we spoke about how you've played in South Africa and China. Culturally, did you have any big culture shocks? What was it like transitioning from Zambian culture?
I think it was a very funny moment, when I go to South Africa, the guys, they knew that I was from Zambia. So they knew that I didn't know Zulu and all these languages, So the first thing I go to the pitch and the coach speaks Zulu and says, sit down in Zulu, and I'm still standing. And he says, stand up, and then everybody's standing and I'm sitting down. It's the opposite. So I was like, these guys are working on me. I said, okay, no problem. They can beat me on this one. When you go on the field, I'll show them. Then they'll start to teach me their language because I'll kick the ones that are making fun of me. So I went to China and they were telling me, when we go to China now, there's even worse because there's like this a movie. They're talking and everybody's talking in the field and everything. So I was like, what's going to happen to me when I get there? So I was like, okay, when I get there, I'll be their boss. I'll be speaking only English. When they tell me their language, I say, I don't understand. Talk to me in English. So Chinese now it was opposite. Them, they want to learn English. So it was easy for me to adapt there because they want to learn English. So they said, I teach you this language, teach me in your language, then I'll teach you mine. So I'll teach him in English, they'll teach me in Chinese. So small things they teach me, I was able to adapt. So those things didn't really affect me from the Zambian culture going to join, because I knew that what we were after is the ball, and it's after football, and we are after one result is to win. So whether it's speaking this language or this language didn't matter, because he had to accommodate me for us to get one result, because we are a team. So they have to accommodate me, I have to accommodate them, they have to accommodate my language and accommodate their language as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I was able to adapt in that way. So it was easy. It was easy for me. Moreover, football is like my hobby. So I was loving it, enjoying it, just enjoy, when it's come to culture, just enjoy. Sometimes they make fun of you, make fun of them sometimes, laugh about it, and you keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Another question that I really wanted to find out. What is your favorite boot? Do you have a favorite?
Yeah. Me, I use Nike boots.
Oh, okay.
Before I got money, I was wearing anything, because as long as it's a boot. And now you get a bit of money when you work, you want to start specifying, I want this one only.
So
of course, what I would encourage the young ones, that it gives you the confidence when you're wearing the same boots, because there are different makes. The fit feels different when you go inside. Not because they are bad, it's because of the feeling. It's different. Nike, the way they make Nike, and the studs are different down. So when you're stepping down, sometimes the fit will be like this, or it will be like this. Because Mercury, they make it like more or less like for speed. And then Adidas is like this, is because it's for technique. You understand? That is the difference. So it's how you control your feet. But I feel comfortable in the Mercury. Nike is what I use. And I've been using it, I think, from the last maybe 15 years, I've been using Nike boots.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Zambian football as a whole, whether you look at it from club football or from the national team, in your opinion, where do you think we are, and what do we need to get to the next level, to get back to that championship winning team of 2012? What are we lacking?
I think that one is a tricky question, because it needs a bit of time for the players to. Okay, some of them, they're a bit young. We need to give them a bit of time, but to get back to the winning mentality, I think the players start to thinking about the nation. The pride of wearing the Zambian jersey is not there anymore. The anger, the attitude, for me, is not there anymore. They have got a talent, but talent without attitude, without character, is nothing. We have got everything. All they need to do is now, let them not get to the comfort zone. Life starts out of the comfort zone. They have gotten to the national team, so they shouldn't be comfortable to be wearing the jersey without giving the results which are needed. So you must get to the national team and give the results, then you can be comfortable. But if you're not getting the results, you should keep pushing yourself, getting yourself out of the comfort zone. Whatever is your weakness, to keep improving it. Then we'll get back to our winning ways. Otherwise, the way we're moving now with our players is just they lack character, and they don't have the attitude, and they don't have the pride for wearing the Zambian jersey.
Making headlines for the wrong things. Recently, we had this situation. I'm sure you're well updated, between Fashion Sakala and Avram Grant.
No, that one is a simple issue for me. It's simple. I've spoken to the young man before on several interviews. He's a young man. Zambian culture, people are criticizing me. They are saying Africa is underdeveloped. How does an apology go to do with somebody being underdeveloped? I don't understand. It's simple. We're in a home. We're in Zambia. Whether you like it or not, it was great, a Christian nation. Okay, it's okay. You don't like it. You're not a Christian. You're not a what? You're a young man. And that's your father. Where do you see a father in the house always apologizing to his own son every time? My son, I'm sorry. What kind of father is that? So it's simple. Fashion is a young man. That one is his father figure, Mr. Avram Grant. So even if he made a mistake, for the sake of the nation, for the sake of the Zambian people that have made him to be what he is, let him just do the right thing and speak to the coach, whether private,
Which is what should have been done in the first place, isn't it?
So maybe that egos there and there, but now it's getting out of hand. So let him apologize to the coach and say, okay, coach, you're my father. For the sake of my country, I want to play for my team, for my national team. He's going to gain a lot of popularity and many people are going to be on his side. But whoever is talking to him and telling him to say, no, you mustn't apologize, it's a wrong thing as a young man. For me, it's simple, just apologize.
And then what would you say to the fans out there that keep on giving Mr. Grant grief for not calling him up?
For me, it's everybody's opinion, you know. So they're not happy with the results that are coming. So they feel like fashion can change something, and the coach has put it clearly that he has done something wrong must apologize to the team and also to the coach. It's the right thing to do. So even if you don't get the results, the coach can't bend. So even if the fans insult him and do whatever, it's like a father in the house. He can't bend to a son. So no matter how much we speak, whether it's Grant or another person, let's not say because he's white. Even if he's a Zambian coach, he won't agree. I don't think so. Unless maybe there's another coach. But for me, any other coach, I wouldn't support that a coach would be apologizing to a player. As a young man, he needs to apologize and do the right thing.
Do you think players have too much power in today's day and age?
Depending on the situation of in what line you're asking the question in, because in this line, that's Fashion and Grant, it was clear that in this situation, they're saying everybody is wrong. So if nobody apologizes, then we just keep moving like this. Players have got power through certain areas, but they must remember they're working for someone who is the coach. So the coach can finish your career, make you or break you.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true. Okay, all that aside, would there be any bright sparks that you've noticed in the national team, particular players?
Recently, we played the under-20 finals against Africa. So that is a very positive for us. The school team just came from playing the final again. The school under-15, they came, I think it's under-15, they came from playing a final, so which is a good thing for us. Then also in the national team, we've got many young players, which is a good thing for us, but they need to understand they are still young. Let them not grow big-headed so fast. Let them keep learning and let them keep improving. If they arrive too fast, they stop learning. That's what is happening now. We find inexperienced players carrying the nation, and we are going to have such results.
Okay, so they must keep their feet on the ground.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll finish off with your goals for the season. Any particular goals? Collectively, we all know what you're fighting for. Any individual goals?
For me, my individual goal now is to have more players from where I'm playing to get into the national team. This is one of my goals. The other one is many of them get to know God. I want them to get to know God, and the reason being is they will become humble. They will become humble. When they have to know the word of God, they will become humble. You understand? This is one of my other goals. Before I finish my career, as I'm still on the field, maybe they will listen to me more, but I'm still on the field. And the other one is just for me, is I want to see one player that can do better than me. Is my goal before I finish my career. He can do better than me means not only going 40 years without winning the Africa Cup. Me, I'm at 44, but I've won the Africa Cup. I've won 2 league titles with Red Arrows. I've won the APSA Cup. Now, somebody can do better than me, not only by age, but by result. That is my ultimate goal for me. Post playing and going after is what I wish for. Yeah.
Very interesting. Some inspiring words, motivation out there for the up and coming footballers. That was Big Jemba, James Chamanga, and all the best this season with Red Arrows Football Club.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure, and I've enjoyed myself.
Same here. Pleasure is all ours.